I heard a tip the other day that if you will go to the thrift store and buy vintage or retro plates, the plates are actually, the dinner plates are smaller several years ago than they are now. And if you would use those to eat, you'll actually eat less, theoretically, because the dinner plates are smaller. So take it for what it's worth. Hey y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways. I'm Miss Katie. We are going to make today a white lasagna. It uses ground chicken instead of ground beef. It has a white sauce. Does have red tomatoes, but I want to show you how we make this, how I make this. It is one of our family's favorites. It's one of my favorites. I put it in my cookbook actually, so it's on. It's in the chicken section of my cookbook, actually on page 53. So if you have the cookbook, follow along. I'm going to make a couple of additions tonight, and you know, you can make notes right there if you have the cookbook. If you want the cookbook, need to grab some for Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, birthday, any kind of gifts. Make sure to follow that link down below in the description box and you'll learn all about that. If you want to buy in bulk, if you want to buy more than just two, then email me, because we can arrange some cheaper shipping cost than you can get if you just buy a whole bunch on the website. So email me if you want to buy more than two. All right, let's get started making good old, just home style white lasagna. All right, this is not, in my opinion, a really complicated lasagna because you're not having to cook the noodles ahead of time. I use just regular lasagna noodles. I have never ever bought the ready for, what's it called, no need to cook noodles. I don't even know what they're called. I'm kind of skeptical about things like that because I was using regular noodles uncooked years before they came out with the ready for the oven or whatever they're called. I can't imagine what they would do to them differently than the other noodles except a higher price. My skillet, and I'm going to just actually spray it with some, this is grapeseed oil. My chicken is not going to have a lot of fat. You could use another kind of fat, coconut oil or something. I'm just going to turn this on medium, and I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken and my onions right over there too, and I'm going to saute my onions and my chicken together. This is ground chicken from a local producer. I like to buy local for more than one reason. Better for you, but you're supporting local. I love that. This is a whole sweet onion. It's I'd say it's medium. It is not very large. This is November. You can't really find big, good, large onions like you can in the summertime. Alright, I'm also going to add, this is what I was saying I was going to do differently. I decided I would add a squirt of garlic paste. This is just, I find it at Aldi. Y'all know I love Aldi. I used to find it at Kroger back when I went there. Now, just know, I'm looking at the back, it does have things other than garlic. So a warning, sunflower oil, sea salt, extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, xanthan and guar gums, and those are thickeners. So just a warning, just a notice for that so you'll know what you're getting. But I'm going to put a good tablespoon in that, just because it doesn't usually call for garlic, and I just thought I'd do that tonight. So I'm going to get this all mixed up. Just till my onions are translucent and transparent, and my my chicken is cooked all the way through. You can use another meat for this. Go ahead and use venison if you have it. Go ahead and use your beef if you want to. Pork, ground ham. Uh-oh, I just dropped it on the floor. I'm making a mess. Let me get a different utensil. I'm going to get this thing. I really like this thing. It separates it when it's cooking. This is from Pampered Chef. I'm not affiliated, but I have seen them in other places as well for sale. Even like Dollar General. Alright, so in our cooked chicken and onions and garlic, I'm going to add 1 can, 14.5 ounce can of tomatoes, undrained. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now, here's the thing. I was talking to ladies at church the other night at a social that our family hosted there. And we were talking about tomato paste and how we don't like recipes that just call for 1 or 2 tablespoons. One lady, my friend, I think Ellie or Marie, said that they just substitute ketchup, which is fine. I don't really want the sugar in this. But what you can do, and somebody else mentioned, either my friend Pam or Bette was mentioning that you can get the squeeze in a tube tomato paste. So you can do that. I've got some of that actually downstairs in my larder. But I actually will use this if for no other reason to make my my pizza sauce this coming Friday night. So I will use that, but there's nothing more frustrating than a partial can of something, right? Alright, 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning mix, and I do make my own, so I can link a video of that for you. It's also in one of my cookbooks, but I've got a video of it. I rub it between my hands to release all those wonderful smells and essential oils, aromatics. A pinch of cayenne pepper, a teaspoon of salt. This is Redmond's real salt. Then 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. There we go. Now, I'm going to cover and cook this on low for 20 minutes. There we go. Oh, it's already smelling good. Alright, while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and grate my mozzarella. Of course, you can buy shredded mozzarella, of course. I get this local, again, local product. We are right here in the middle of, on the edge of Amish country. Cheese making, you know, country. Love it. Alright, so we get the good, locally made mozzarella or Swiss or provolone, whatever we need like that. I tell you, it makes a difference, and it's not that much more expensive than you would think than the, you know, the store stuff. And the store stuff is going to have your I can't think of the word right now. I'm sorry. My mind's still trying to get to the point where I can readily remember words after being sick. Anyway, it doesn't have the powdery stuff on it that keeps it from sticking together. You know, you have that on cheese when you buy it already shredded. So, I am just shredding on this box shredder 1.5 cups of mozzarella. Or you can use, you know, pre-packaged Italian blend. But this does make a difference. I tell you, I bought this for the first time a month or 2 ago at the Holmes County Cheese Company. And I could not believe how amazing our pizza was that night due to real cheese. Alright, so I'm going to measure this. It calls for 1 1/4 cups. That's more than 1 1/4 cups. This is a liquid measure, but I'm going to use it anyway. This is 1.5. This thing is. Oh, see? Yeah, oh, that's what I thought. So, there's your one. We're going to call it that, and we're going to save this for another use. Alright, I was just talking a minute ago about not wanting to have leftovers or jars of stuff. Well, this is left over from a video I just did, actually, sweet potato pie video. I just made that video, And in fact, my pies are still cooling. And I've got a cup of evaporated milk left over. This calls for 2 cups of whole milk. Do you know that all you have to do is add equal parts water and you can call it whole milk? Especially if you're cooking. That is my 2 cups. That way I can use up the rest of that evaporated milk, and I use my pure Berkey water. Alright, next step is to make the white sauce. And if you've got this cooking and you didn't have to shred your cheese, jump right into the white sauce. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter. And our pan, I'm going to melt it. And I am going to, once that's melted, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of unbleached all-purpose flour. I'll measure it out. And I'm going to whisk it in the butter. This is just a basic white sauce. Then I'll be adding the milk, and then the cheese, and salt and pepper. Now for this job, I love this little tool from Pampered Chef. It's a, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a little whisk. Here's a little tip. If you had pockets of time throughout the day, or you wanted to make your meat sauce and let that just sit there, or put it in the fridge and wait on you, or if you wanted to make this white sauce, this cheese sauce, and go ahead and get that done, you could do that too. So it's don't make it more difficult than it has to be. Alright, that's melting. I'm actually going to go ahead and add my 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Actually, 1/4 teaspoon, sorry. And then my teaspoon of salt. Okay, my 3 tablespoons of unbleached all-purpose flour. You see I'm not exact here. Okay, just whisking that to make sure all my flour's incorporated. Let the flour cook for just a little bit so we don't have a flour taste. Whisking the whole time. That's why I love this little tiny whisk. Alright, I'm going to add this milk that we reconstituted. And I'm going to bring this, I want this to come to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it up. Okay. So I'm just going to whisk this and bring it to a boil. In reality, you can stop whisking for a minute, but just don't walk away from it, because like I said, you don't want it to burn. Once it comes to a boil, then you're going to reduce the heat and you're going to let it simmer for 1 minute. And that 1 minute is going to cause it to thicken. This is one of the best parts of this lasagna. I love the whole thing of it. Oh, there's some pepper there. Got stuck on the... I hope you have evaporated milk in your prepper pantry or in your pantry. You never know when you're going to run out of milk. Might need some evaporated milk to reconstitute and cook with, or what have you, or drink if you needed to. Alright, I'm going to see. Okay, now a boil is when you stir it and the bubbles don't go away. It just keeps bubbling. That is a full boil or a rolling boil. Right, I'm turning it down to right closer to low than anything. And I'm stirring, well actually I'm going to do it right below medium. And I'm going to stir for 1 minute. Okay, now I'm going to take my whisk away. And I'm going to add the cheese. I'm going to actually use a spoon, because I know from experience it's hard to get that cheese out of the whisk. I'm going to turn the heat off and add that good shredded cheese. And this, my friends, is just a basic cheese sauce. Okay, I'm just now realizing I made a mistake. Wasn't paying attention. I should have added half of the cheese. So I will write the exact correct recipe in a link. I'll have it on my website, and I'll have a link down below in the description box. And all you have to do is click on it. But that's just going to make it cheesier. Letting that sit there and wait on me while we start assembling. Alright, first thing I'll do is just grease my pan. I love this little sprayer I got not long ago at Lehman's. Miss Katie better refer to her recipe, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to get supper done real quick before Mr. Patient gets home, because we have a meeting we have to go to. And I thought, well, I'll bring my YouTube friends along, but apparently I am not slowing down enough to pay attention to what I'm doing. So let me read my recipe. Alright, now it says to use a 9x13. I got this lasagna pan, as it's called. It is a 10x14, and I just like the size of it. I got it just the other day and at a local IGA, and I'm thrilled with it. So I'm going to use this. The end product is going to be thinner than it will in your 9x13 pan. But let me tell you that it's still going to be thin in your 9x13 pan. Even if you follow directions. This is not a tall lasagna. This is a smaller, a shorter, if you will, or not very tall lasagna. Pour half of the meat mixture in the pan. So let's just do that. Okay, cover with half of the lasagna noodles, and the recipe does say 10 to 12 noodles is what you need. And see why I like this pan? Because the noodles fit and you don't have to break them. Then after that, the rest of the meat sauce. I'm just trying to make sure all my noodles are covered with some sort of liquid or meat or tomatoes or something, so they'll get some moisture there. Alright, and then top with the remaining noodles. Look at there, just perfect. That fits just fine, that'll do. Then I pour my white sauce over the noodles, and it is cheesy. It's cheesier than it's supposed to be, but also that locally made, good quality cheese, that is really, as they say, stringy and just a delicious, wonderful quality. One time when we were traveling, we were privileged to have a cheese tasting from some friends we met who were from Wisconsin and brought cheese from Wisconsin to the campground where we were staying. Well, apparently my camera turned off or my battery died or something happened, and I didn't realize it when I was taping and talking. So anyway, you cover it tightly with foil, put it in the oven. But listen, y'all, the recipe link is going to be right down under this video. So just click on that and you'll get the whole recipe there at my website. All right, Mr. Patient and I are in from our meeting. Little Miss Homemaker heated up the lasagna for us, cooked it for us while we were gone. And I just took it out of the oven. I have broccoli steaming. In fact, it's done. I'm going to turn it off. Alright, the first piece of something is usually not the prettiest, is it? Okay, see what I'm saying? It's not very tall. I've got garlic bread from Aldi. I like the end. Let me know in the comments which part is your favorite of garlic bread. Alright, I've got my broccoli over here. I don't use much water, so I don't have to drain anything. Perfectly steamed, not mushy. There you go. Look at that. We are ready to eat. All right, the broccoli is perfect. Lasagna noodles are done. That extra cheese is going to be good. So super good. Maybe it's something different for y'all. White lasagna. Talk to y'all later. We're gonna go eat supper.